The modern world is killing you. Not your body, but your soul. Look around. Never in history has man had more comfort, more convenience, more control over his environment. With a swipe, food arrives. With a click, pleasure floods your screen. With a few keystrokes, you can live, laugh, consume, and numb yourself without leaving the couch. And yet, you are empty. You know it. You feel it in the quiet moments when the noise fades and you are left alone with yourself. A hollowness, a gnawing, a sense that life is slipping away, not in grand tragedies, but in small, endless distractions. The body survives, the soul rots, and this is the death you don't see. Because the modern world has perfected the art of suffocating the soul while keeping the body alive. It doesn't need to kill you with famine or war. It kills you with scrolling, with comfort, with distraction. It's a death that feels like pleasure, a poison that tastes like sugar. The average man doesn't even resist. He welcomes it. He clings to the screens, the dopamine hits, the shallow conversations, the synthetic validation. He believes he's free because no chains are visible on his wrists. But look closer. His chains are digital. His cage is invisible. Plato described it thousands of years ago. Men staring at shadows on the cave wall, believing the flickers of light were reality. Today, the cave fits in your pocket. The shadows scroll endlessly. You call it content. You call it entertainment. You call it connection. But it's the same prison. The soul wasn't made for this. The soul wasn't made for a world of infinite noise, endless choice, constant stimulation. The soul was made to wrestle with silence, to endure suffering, to chase meaning. And when it's deprived of that, it withers. That's why you feel restless no matter how much you consume. That's why no amount of sex, money, likes, or substances can quiet the ache. You're feeding the body and starving the soul. The modern world is clever. It sells you the idea that comfort is the goal, that happiness is found in convenience, in indulgence, in never feeling pain. But comfort is the slow death of the soul, because the soul doesn't grow in ease. The soul grows in fire. And here's the brutal truth. You think you're alive, but you're not. You're being embalmed in comfort, preserved in distraction, carried along by a system that has no interest in your soul, only your consumption. But if you dare to see, if you dare to face the quiet terror of your emptiness, you'll discover the truth. The world isn't killing you by accident. It's killing you by design. You are told you are free. You are told you are modern. You are told you are more liberated than any man who came before you. But look closer. What is this freedom you are so proud of? You are chained to your phone, chained to your paycheck, chained to your cravings, your comforts, your distractions. You don't call them chains because they don't hurt. They soothe, they glitter, they hum with pleasure. But chains wrapped in velvet are still chains. This is the genius of the modern world. It disguises slavery as choice. It convinces you that because you can scroll endlessly, swipe endlessly, consume endlessly, you are free. But you are not choosing. You are being herded. You think you are in control. But how many hours did you lose today, staring at screens you don't remember? How many times did you reach for your phone without thinking, like a reflex? How many times did you mistake noise for connection? You are told this is progress. But what progress is it to be a man who cannot focus? What progress is it to be enslaved by algorithms, by corporations, by the pull of every cheap dopamine spike. You may have electricity, medicine, luxury, but without a soul, you are still a slave, only more comfortable in your chains than your ancestors ever were. And here's the part that cuts deepest. You defend your slavery. You laugh at anyone who dares to reject it. You mock the man who walks away from screens, from shallow pleasures, from consumer madness. Because if he is right, then you are wrong, and you cannot bear to face that truth. Nietzsche once wrote, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." Today, the tribe is global, digital, invisible, and you are not struggling. You are surrendering. So let's name it for what it is. This is not freedom. This is not progress. This is not enlightenment. This is control. This is sedation. This is slavery made sweet. And every time you call it freedom, you tighten the chains yourself. The modern world doesn't just chain you. It constantly keeps you busy enough that you never notice the chains at all. This is the true machinery of distraction. Endless stimulation, endless noise, endless movement, so that you never stop, never breathe, never dare to look inward. Think about it. The moment silence comes, you reach for the phone. The moment boredom comes, you scroll. The moment pain comes, you numb it. Food, porn, substances, empty chatter. You call it entertainment, but it isn't entertainment, it's anesthesia. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." The modern world understood this perfectly. It built an empire on your avoidance. Because if you ever sat still long enough to face your soul, you'd see how hollow you've become. You'd feel the weight of all you've neglected. Your discipline, your purpose, your calling. The very things that make a man alive. So the system gives you what you crave. Quick relief. Fast pleasure. Constant noise. It floods your mind with shallow stimuli, so your soul never has the space to breathe. Porn masquerades as intimacy. Fast food masquerades as nourishment. Endless feeds masquerade as connection. But in every case, the real thing, the thing your soul actually needs, is missing. Like Prometheus chained to the rock, your liver eaten daily, only to grow back for the next torment. You think you are indulging, but you are bound. You think you are free, but you are consumed. This is why men today feel hollow, no matter how much they consume. Because distraction does not feed the soul. It devours it. And the worst part, you mistake the starvation for fullness. You mistake the constant flicker of stimulation for life. You confuse busy with alive, connected with loved, entertained with fulfilled. But in the quiet moments, when the screen goes black, you feel it. The gnawing emptiness. The truth you keep running from. You are surrounded by everything, and yet starving for the one thing that matters. The modern world doesn't fear your body. It fears your soul. That's why it drowns you in noise. That's why it keeps you distracted. Because a man with a starving soul is docile, controllable, harmless. But a man with a soul awake and alive is dangerous. And that's why distraction is everywhere. It isn't accidental. It's the design. You think comfort is your reward. You think comfort is progress. You think comfort is the proof that civilization has advanced. But here is the truth. No one wants to say, comfort is killing you. Everywhere you turn, life has been padded, softened, sterilized. Your house is climate controlled. Your food is instant. Your pleasures are on demand. Your body never hungers, never strains, never sweats unless you choose it. And that is exactly why your soul is weak. A man without resistance is a man without strength. A man without hunger is a man without drive. A man without fire is already ash. Comfort is not neutral. Comfort is corrosive. It eats at your discipline, erodes your will, sedates your spirit. It tells you you're fine as you are. You don't need to grow. Just relax. Just enjoy. Just waste away slowly. Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." But the modern man has no why. Only comfort, only convenience, only shallow pleasures. And because he has no why, he collapses under the smallest how. Your ancestors endured hunger, cold, war, famine, and still they lived with fire. They had to. Their souls were forged in hardship. And you? You wilt when the Wi-Fi drops. You rage when your coffee order is late. You crumble when a woman tests your composure. This is the cult of comfort. It tells you weakness is normal. That luxury is the goal. That if you feel even the slightest discomfort, something is wrong. But the truth is the opposite. If you live without discomfort, something is already dead. Comfort is the coffin lined with velvet. You don't notice you're inside it because it feels good. It feels safe. But make no mistake, it is still a coffin. And the man who worships comfort will never rise above mediocrity. He will never feel the fire of purpose. He will never touch greatness. Because greatness is born in resistance, not ease. Man cannot live without meaning. He can survive without food for weeks, without water for days, without air for minutes. But without meaning, he collapses instantly. The tragedy of the modern world is that it has stripped man of transcendence. It has told him there is no God, no higher order, no eternal truth. And in that vacuum, it has handed him replacements: technology, consumption, distraction. Algorithms became gods. Corporations became churches. Influencers became prophets. And consumerism became the new religion. What is Amazon if not a temple of instant gratification? What is Instagram if not an altar of worship where millions kneel before the idol of validation? What is the endless chase for money, status, likes, if not a desperate prayer to hollow gods? Dostoevsky warned us, if God does not exist, everything is permitted. And here we are. Anything goes, everything is permitted, but nothing satisfies. Because when transcendence is ripped away, all you're left with is appetite, endless appetite. But appetite is not meaning. Appetite is hunger that never ends. And so the soul collapses, not with a scream, but with a sigh. Not with fire, but with apathy. Not with a violent rebellion, but with quiet surrender. This is the death of meaning, and the modern man thinks he has evolved. But the truth is far harsher. He has devolved into a consumer machine, worshiping the very system that devours his soul. You don't even notice it happening. You wake up, you scroll, you work, you eat, you laugh, you sleep. Everything looks fine. From the outside, your life is normal. But inside, something is gone. The spark, the fire, the hunger for meaning. You no longer dream of greatness. You no longer wrestle with God. You no longer feel awe in the presence of the stars or terror in the face of death. You just exist. This is not life. This is survival dressed up as living. And because everyone around you is doing the same, you think it's normal. But what is normal today is nothing more than mass spiritual decay. Kierkegaard said it with frightening clarity. The greatest danger, that of losing one's own self, can pass off in the world as quietly as if it were nothing at all. That is the silent sickness. You lose yourself, and the world applauds your productivity, your efficiency, your obedience. And so the sickness continues. Quiet, painless, fatal, the body alive, the soul gone. If the modern world kills the soul with distraction, comfort, and emptiness, then revival can only come through their opposites: silence, suffering, meaning. But don't mistake this for a soft path. There is no soft path back to life. You will not revive your soul by downloading another app, by buying another book, by repeating affirmations into the mirror. You revive the soul the way men always have, by walking through the fire. That means solitude, sitting alone without distraction, without screens, without noise, facing yourself, wrestling with your emptiness until it speaks. Most men can't do it. They'd rather die in comfort than sit in silence for 1 hour. That means discipline, saying no to the endless pleasures, the shallow indulgences, the easy path, training the body to obey so the soul can awaken. The gym, the cold, the hunger, the grind, not as vanity, but as warfare. That means suffering, not pointless suffering, not despair, but chosen hardship, embraced as the crucible of growth. Nietzsche wrote, "To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." Modern men avoid suffering at all costs, but in avoiding it, they avoid life itself. That means meaning, not cheap pleasure, not empty goals, not hollow status. Meaning that anchors you to something greater than yourself. God, truth, duty, a mission that rips you out of your petty cravings and calls you to bleed for something eternal. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." Most men have not begun. They are waiting, numbing, postponing. Their lives pass in comfort, but never in purpose. Reviving the soul is simple, but it is brutal. Strip away the noise, endure the silence, reject the easy path. Seek meaning greater than yourself. This is the path through the fire, and the fire will hurt. It will strip you. It will burn away the boy who wants comfort, and it will forge the man who is finally alive. But that is the only path, because without the fire, you will stay what you are, a comfortable corpse. The mask is gone now. The truth stands naked before you. The modern world is not neutral. It is not harmless. It is not your friend. It is killing your soul. Slowly, sweetly, quietly. It kills through comfort. It kills through distraction. It kills through the death of meaning. And worst of all, it kills with your consent. Most men will remain blind. They will keep scrolling, keep consuming, keep laughing at nothing, eating for nothing, living for nothing. They will rot quietly, embalmed in pleasure, buried long before the coffin is closed. That is the fate of the majority. That is the fate of the herd. But you have seen it now. You cannot unsee it. You stand at the fork every man faces. Will you join the walking dead, feeding the machine, dying without ever having lived? Or will you burn? Will you suffer? Will you walk through the fire that terrifies the herd and rise with your soul intact? Understand this. The world doesn't need more men asleep. The world doesn't need more consumers, more slaves, more corpses pretending to be alive. The world needs men awake, men unchained, men whose souls burn brighter than the screens, louder than the noise, stronger than the machine. Your comfort is killing you. Your suffering will save you. You can rot quietly with the masses, or you can live fully, fiercely, dangerously, as a man with a soul on fire. The choice is yours. But know this, the modern world has already chosen for you. It wants you dead inside. So if you want to live, you must fight. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Like, share, subscribe,